So you're thinking about moving to Michigan. Maybe your spouse got a job here. Maybe you have a family member here. Maybe you're just moving back home and you're curious on where the job opportunities are. In this video, we want to talk about the best job opportunities, some different industries, some pros and cons in those industries, and we're going to do all that starting right now. So you're thinking about moving to Michigan and you're wondering what the job market is here. If that's the case, then this video is for you. My name is Matt Talbot. My team and I help people just like you every single day move here to Michigan, and we absolutely live for it. People that are moving the next 3 to 12 months really call us, text us, DM us, even fill out our Calendly link here on YouTube to set up a consultation with our team to find out more about the area and to start to get the gears turning as far as their home move here to Michigan. So you might be tuning into this video because your spouse just got a job here, or maybe you have to move back home to be closer to family or what have you, and you're thinking about what different job opportunities there are here in Michigan. We wanted to give you an all-inclusive video that would talk about some of the different industries, some of the different pros and cons, some of the different things that are happening here in Michigan, and some of the opportunities from a job perspective that give you different opportunities here in Michigan on your job search. Michigan offers a diverse different groups as far as opportunities for job opportunities here in Michigan. And automotive is one of those. Technology is another one. Manufacturing is huge. Healthcare, technology. I mean, there's so many that we want to go through here on our list. I have a great list here all set up on the laptop for you, but there is a diverse, different amount of options. So I think there really is something for everybody here in Michigan for a lot of different reasons, but we want to talk about some of the bigger industries and how they could affect your search. So the first industry we want to talk about today is probably historically the biggest industry here in Michigan, still probably affects more than anything else, and that is the automotive industry here in Michigan. We've talked about this in other videos, but we have what's called the big three in Michigan, and those are the big three auto companies: Ford Motor Company, General Motors, and Chrysler Fiat. Those are the three big automotive companies here in the United States, and definitely all headquartered here in Michigan. It's been like that for about 100 years or so, right? So automotive is huge here in Michigan. A lot of people move here to Michigan for that automotive sector for a lot of different reasons. So like so many of our clients, we talk to them, we say, hey, what brings you to the area, or why are you thinking about moving here? And so many times they're engineers, mechanical, electrical, a lot of IT engineers, a lot of software engineers at these auto companies. So especially as these technologies change, especially as EV cars are changing and things are evolving, there's a lot more different opportunities here in Michigan that tie directly into those job searches. So sometimes they're remote, sometimes they're local, sometimes they're hybrid, but being local is a huge advantage if you want to move up in a lot of these organizations. So I have an article here from Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and there's some different statistics in here. Michigan ranked number 1 for automotive industry, EV investment, and top 10 for tech talent pipeline in business facilities 2023 state rankings, right? Michigan is ranked number 1 for automotive industry, EV investment, and top 10 for tech talent pipeline in business facilities 2023 state rankings. So as far as across the states, we are very, very highly ranked when it comes to EV. So electric cars, it's kind of an arm race right now. It's super important, as everyone knows, Tesla becoming so big and stuff like that. So Ford Motor Company, GM, these companies are not just laying down. They're not just saying, okay, Tesla's the way of the future, right? They're evolving, they're changing. There's a lot of different things happening across the world, a lot of different politics associated with it. However, being part of that change is definitely huge in Michigan, and it always has been in the auto industry. So as far as different manufacturing jobs, and for specifically for this job or for this video, and this section of this video, a lot of the different people that are moving here are very tech friendly, like I mentioned. So a lot of software engineers, a lot of people like that. 96 out of the top 100 automotive suppliers to North America have a presence in Michigan. 60 are headquarters in Michigan. So 60% of the total suppliers for automotive, one of the biggest industries in the entire world, are here in Michigan. So not only are you working directly for these big companies, but there's so many tier 1, 2, 3 suppliers, there's OEM suppliers, there's so many different suppliers here in Michigan that make all the different car parts, right? Whether it's a little bolt or a little thing or a full little bolt, little whatever, a little part, right? Or a full, dashboard or full technology package that ties in with electronic or autonomous vehicles. Most of the headquarters, at least North American headquarters, are here in Michigan. That actually leads to a very diverse area as well, too, something we should talk about. Because so many of these places are headquarters here as far as North American headquarters, they might have places in Japan or China or India or different places throughout the world, Mexico, right? Where it leads to this this really good melting pot here in Southeast Michigan because so many people from all over the world have to come here for work, and whether they're living here permanently or just traveling to and from, it leaves for a very diverse area, which I think is what the United States is about for so many reasons. And so there's a lot of good food and different things that tie in with that as well too. But having 60 out of the top 100 biggest companies headquarters here as far as those suppliers is huge, right? A couple other points here I want to roll through. First, in mobility and automotive R&D, so research and development and mobility and automotive, with 62% of the U.S. spending taking place in Michigan. So over 50%, 62% of the U.S. spending takes place as far as the automotive research and development. Michigan has the most extensive network of autonomous vehicle and mobility testing infrastructures, the nation's friendliest laws for testing self-driving vehicles. So there's all sorts of stuff scattered throughout Michigan, whether it's downtown, southeast Michigan, you go out in the sticks a little bit, maybe even like Milford, they have testing grounds and stuff. They're constantly testing this stuff. It's really, really cool if you're into cars. There's a lot of different things happening when it comes to this development. And then also Michigan is home to nearly 19% of all U.S. auto production, more than any other state in the nation. So almost 20% of the cars that are manufactured in the country are manufactured here in Michigan, which leads into further information on this video. The second industry when it comes to job offerings here in Michigan is going to be tech and innovation. So not everyone thinks Detroit or not everyone thinks Michigan when it comes to tech and innovation, but there is a lot of that happening. And again, it does tie in heavily with the auto world as well too, but there's lots of tech and innovation happening here in Michigan. Cities like Detroit and Ann Arbor have been experiencing a huge tech boom with growing opportunities for software development, cybersecurity, data science, and autonomous vehicle technology like we already talked about. So with all the amount of universities here in Michigan, there's great engineering degrees that are happening at University of Michigan, Michigan State University. There's really good programs here as far as engineering programs, and because of our infrastructure, the car stuff, there's a lot of different ways to be very involved in tech. As everyone knows, technology is tying in with every industry, and with the amount of innovation we have in the car industry, it is just huge here. Even if you go to downtown Detroit, I mean, LinkedIn is down there, Google's down there, Google's also in Ann Arbor. There's a lot of these big companies that are here in Michigan. WeWork are all over downtown Detroit, right? So there's a lot of these different, not only corporations moving here and big companies moving here, but additionally, there's a lot of different places that are incubators like WeWork and the like. Ann Arbor Spark is another one that are very, very driven for startup type culture, which in today's world is very, very tech driven. So going to WeWork in downtown Detroit, hanging out in downtown Detroit is a very, very tech-minded entrepreneurial spirit in a lot of ways for a lot of startups, which is why it is number 2 on our list. Number 3 on our list is the healthcare sector. So the hospital systems in Michigan are huge. There's also a lot of reasons why healthcare is so big here in Michigan. The hospital systems are one of the biggest ones. So Beaumont Hospitals is a great example. They were recently purchased. Henry Ford Health System is huge. University of Michigan is one of the biggest, not only from the healthcare perspective, but one of the biggest employers in the state of Michigan. For a long time, it was the biggest employer in the state of Michigan. And one of the reasons was because of the healthcare system. So U of M healthcare system is huge here in Michigan. There's a lot of different hospitals, and there's a lot of different medical schools as well too here in Michigan, which is one of the reasons why so many people move here. They move here to go to med school, or they move here to go to undergrad with the goal of going to med school at all the different universities. So Wayne State University, University of Michigan, Michigan State University. I mean, there's all these really good medical programs here in Michigan, which is why it's such a sought out area. There's also lots of hospitals that directly tie into that. What's interesting is we pull up this statistic. Here's some different numbers here. This is in 2021, so a couple years back, but number of hospitals in Michigan in 2021 by ownership type. This is very interesting to me. 6 state local government, 110 nonprofit hospitals here in Michigan, 23 for-profit hospitals in Michigan. So the majority of the hospitals here in Michigan are nonprofit organizations. A lot of them are teaching hospitals and research hospitals, which ties in with the general industry itself as far as if you're into medicine, if you're into the medical field and you want, whether it be a nurse or doctor, what have you, you want to get involved and go to an area that's very, very sought out. This is totally a great place, specifically here in Southeast Michigan. There's tons of hospital systems, lots of places to work. We have people all the time. I just got a call 2 days ago, someone's moving from Maryland area back to Michigan. They're from here originally, and they both work in healthcare, one on the research side, one's going to be over at University of Michigan. So we work with those people constantly. There's some really good loans out there as well too. If you are a physician and you're looking for some really good local loans that give you really big incentives for being a doctor here in Michigan, we work with physicians all the time. Really great lenders when it comes to the lending of homes here. But one of the reasons why people move here, and one of the best opportunities, is through the medical field. There's tons of opportunities to go to school, whether it be big universities or smaller organizations for nursing and stuff like that, to be involved with the medical community because it's such a big community here in Southeast Michigan and throughout the state. But additionally, there's a lot of people throughout Detroit and Metro Detroit, over 5 million people, locally here in Southeast Michigan. So the hospital system also can accommodate and really, flow because there's so many people. There's a big need as well too. So between the schools and between the different hospital systems and between the education that's happening and all that tying together, Michigan healthcare is one of the biggest job opportunities if you're thinking about moving to the state. Next on our list is skilled trades. So there's some bigger industries, but this is a very interesting thing here in Michigan, across the country, and it ties in directly with my world in real estate, and that's skilled trades. So skilled trades are really hard to come by, right? I think our country has kind of, really shifted to school and working for corporations, all good stuff through the years, right? But that being said, skilled trades is really kind of left out these days. So having the ability to be a good electrician, a good plumber, being a good drywaller, framer, what have you, right? There's not as many of those skilled trades available these days, and there's not as much opportunity for a lot of people. It just hasn't been a thing for a while, right? So what I should say is that there isn't a lot of opportunity. There is a lot of opportunity for a lot of people in skilled trades because it's really hard to find good skilled trade labor and people that understand this stuff. So Michigan is on the forefront of kind of pushing that initiative. The state has recently launched a $3 million campaign throughout the state to really push for skilled laborers and to attract people locally. So the city of Detroit actually just opened a couple of facilities as well too to help tradesmen learn different crafts here in Detroit and here in Southeast Michigan. So skilled trades is going to be huge. There's tons of initiatives happening in Michigan where sometimes you get free education or you get assistance or you get opportunities for jobs as soon as you graduate for skilled trades. I think they see a need for that here in Michigan, and that's an awesome one to consider. So if you're thinking about moving to the area, I think there's so much upside, specifically being in the real estate world and seeing it hands-on, of being good at some of the stuff, building a business around it, building technology around it, and being better at skilled trades, because I think there's a huge opportunity, at least in a 2023 world. Next on our list, and one of the biggest, is manufacturing. So again, it kind of ties in, not to revamp, but it ties very heavily into the auto industry, of course, but it's such a huge piece here in Michigan. And there's some really interesting facts. I got this from NAM.org. 2022 Michigan manufacturing facts. There's some pretty interesting articles in here. One that sticks out for me, or one statistic that sticks out for me, is the average annual compensation for manufacturing in 2021 was $85,000. So there's a lot of jobs available, and pretty high paying jobs in the manufacturing space if you can get involved in that world. So top 10 Michigan manufacturing sectors in millions of dollars. So chemical manufacturing is huge. That's not the auto industry. Machinery is another big one. So machining, that is a lot related to the auto industry. Chemicals, fabricated medical products. There's a lot of that fabrication happening here in Michigan. Food, beverage, and tobacco products is next on that list. Plastics and rubber products. So for instance, in Plymouth, there's, Plastipack is one of the biggest plastic providers as well too, which also ties in with some other stuff as well. Computer electronic products. So there's a lot of manufacturing happening here in Michigan, and that's just not here in Southeast Michigan and the big cities. Throughout the state is really known for manufacturing. So maybe you don't want to move to a big city, maybe you don't want to be in Detroit or Grand Rapids, or maybe you need to be somewhere closer to a more rural part of town where there's a lot of manufacturing plants and facilities that allow for different options. And that doesn't mean just working on the plant. That could be working in HR there, or working in facilities there. There's a lot of different opportunities for jobs in these plants. They're massive facilities. They're scattered throughout the state. It has always been a big part of our culture. I'm sure always will be a big part of our culture. So we have to note manufacturing, whether it ties in with the auto industry or some of the other industries industries as well too. It's a huge thing. There's lots of opportunities if you go ahead and search for manufacturing jobs or related jobs throughout the state of Michigan. Next on our list is the education sector here in Michigan. So whether it's public schools or universities, we have a lot of them. So if you're a smart cookie and you want to be involved in the education and the future of our country, I think it's so beneficial to be involved with future generations. There's a lot of opportunities here. I have a few different specific data points I want to talk about. Public education in Michigan. So Michigan, there's this as far as public education schools. There's 3,000 schools, 539 districts. That's 1.3 million students, 73,000 teachers. So teacher to pupil ratio is an interesting one. Michigan is 1 to 18 across the country is 1 to 16, so we're pretty good there, and we're spending about the national average as far as per pupil on education, which is good. Percent of students scoring at or above proficient 2012 through 2013. This is the old statistics, but we have pretty good rankings compared to the United States, pretty good rankings compared to the Midwest as well too. So that's an interesting one. And then colleges and universities is another big one. So there is 86 different schools with degree completions. Next on our list, as far as colleges and universities, there's at least 87 schools offering degrees in Michigan, and 41 are four-year private colleges or universities. There's 51,942 undergraduate students were enrolled in 2021. 20,000 degrees were completed in private schools and universities, included 9,600 that were offered online. So lots of different schools and opportunities for jobs in those schools. So obviously the big ones, right? University of Michigan, Michigan State University, Wayne State University are big colleges, but there's a lot out in Kalamazoo, which we talked about in other videos kind of regularly. You have K College, and you also have Western Michigan University, you have Central Michigan University in Mount Pleasant. I mean, depending on where you're at, there's a lot of different options for local colleges as well as big universities. A lot of those kind of tie in with each other. So I hopped around in college a little bit and actually went to a community college for a little while. What was really nice about Schoolcraft College and being a community college locally here is a lot of my professors were at University of Michigan or Wayne State or these bigger schools. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for jobs throughout the educational sector. And again, that's not just being a teacher or being a professor, right? There's a lot of facilities, there's a lot of back-end people that really help make the system run. And I think there's a ton of opportunities with the amount of schools that we have here in Michigan. So if you're thinking about moving to the area, maybe you have a specific location that you're focused on, or maybe that you have a specific job area that you're trying to get into and you want to know some different places to consider when moving to the area, we're happy to give you those resources. Comment below, tap for notifications, of course, for future videos like this. But additionally, if you want to learn more about the area you're moving really in the next 6 to 12 months, give us a call or fill out the Calendly link for more information. We can get you some feedback as early as today if needed on your move here to Michigan. We want to educate you more on the area. So lots of opportunities, lots of different jobs here in Southeast Michigan throughout the entire state. If you're thinking about moving to the area, that's an awesome feature that we have here in Michigan. Please hit subscribe, tap for notifications for more videos just like this.